everyone, and welcome to another Getting Stuff Painted, my bi-weekly give or take update on everything that's been getting painted for the channel. I think you're going to see this just before New Year, so just after Christmas. It's in that sweet spot just between Christmas and New Year, so I don't know whether to wish you a Merry Christmas or a Happy New Year. Let's just say both. Here's some things we've been getting done, and I think this is a first for this series over a year or so of doing them, that for the majority of what I've got to show you today, it's scenery. And as you might know from these videos, I hate scenery, I hate making scenery, I hate painting scenery, but we do have a special variant here, I guess you could say. Can't even really class it as being from Crisis Protocol because it's third party, but it's a Sentinel. It's a Sentinel from X-Men. It's going to be used, or has been used, for Crisis Protocol Battle Report, except there was a couple of bits that hadn't been finished by the time that was filmed, so there's more here than there was in that report, but we'll take a look in detail in a second. We've also got a little bit of Botwar, a little bit of Star Wars Legion, and then a little bit of Blood Bowl as well on the end. So we'll start from left, go right, and begin with the scenery. So I didn't print these, I don't have a 3D printer or anything like that, but they are 3D printed. I think it's almost like ceramic, the plastic they were made of. Like, it is plastic, but it's thick and glossy. So it comes across to me like almost like thin ceramic. Sturdy, and you can find this on eBay as well. That's where I got it from. Unpainted, so I based it in Grey Seer as I did everything here. Used contrast paints, and for all of them, I guess, as we start taking a closer look, Basilicanum Grey for the stone, Shyless Purple for the purple sections of the Sentinel, some normal Leadbelcher Silver, some Nazdrag Yellow for some rust around the edges where there is on some pieces, not all of them have it, Flesh Terror Red for the red parts, and then Gulman Flesh for the flesh tone of the face. You can kind of see the Nazdrag Yellow, kind of look like the metal being like burned or singed slightly. Not sure how the effect came off, but that's what I was going for. And then over the top of everything else, Agrax Earthshade over everything, because it's meant to be a wreckage on the floor, so I thought, make it look a bit grimy. I like that look. I don't like things looking spotless, especially if they're destroyed and wrecked on the field. But it's a well-sized bit of kit. It fits well. Of some of the smaller characters, it does provide cover because of how tall it is, the bigger sections like this part and the chest piece. And it's kind of, it's well timed that someone started selling these, as long as Atomic Mass Games don't go after them, because the leaks, without going into too much detail, for everything that's coming out in Q1, Q2, it involves some Sentinel related stuff, shall we say, to be as vague as possible in case anyone doesn't want spoilers. So this should become even more fitting as scenery going forwards into 2021. Oh, I use a little bit of, that's Talisar Blue for the wiring, I forgot that part, and Nazdrag for the singed ends. But yeah, the chest piece in particular, it's pretty chunky and tall, so it can hide most of the characters to provide a little bit of cover for your battlefield, while also looking thematically apt if you're running X-Men or Brotherhood. So this is one of the arms, or most of the arm at least. Doing best to stick to the official colour scheme from the 90s cartoon, which is clearly what the design is based on. If/when Atomic Mass Games decide to do stuff with Sentinels, they might base it on a newer model of Sentinel, or a different design. As long as they don't do the live action movie ones. They were interesting, but there's something about this cheesy robot look I just really like. And then finally, the leg. Seen better days as Sentinel, although I guess you could also split it apart to be two different destroyed Sentinels. Doesn't need to be implied only one died. So there is that. That took up the majority of my time over the last little bit getting that done. From Botwar, this is another promo model I got when I last ordered directly from Traders Galaxy, which I probably will not be doing again because I had to pay import tax on both orders. In focus please. And the import tax is way too high, unfortunately. It matches the cost of the initial order. So this is, I don't remember his official name, but as far as the rolls you use for him, you use the rolls for Top Shot, which is a Valiant miniature. Not to be confused with Top Star, which you might have seen in the battle reports. So he is just an alternative sculpt. Well, I don't think it's meant to be the same character, but he just uses the same stat sheet. So I painted him up with the official colour scheme. Simple as that. So that is the Griffin orange, Talistar blue, Black Templar black, and non-oil all over the top. Simple. Hoping to play more Botwar soon, but with me trying to do more battle reports and videos in general for the channel, it's meant I haven't had as much time for painting. Speaking of which, I haven't even started on the starter box for Star Wars Legion, but I did buy some side characters in Black Friday sales. I just like painting the characters currently, more so than learning the game or anything like that. So we have Return of a Jedi Luke Skywalker, Black Templar black, Moot green for his lightsaber, with a little bit of warp lightning and Moot green on the arm there to try and make it look like the glow worked. Glimmin Flesh and Snakebite leather for his hair. And that's the, what is it called? Something mud, Devlin mud, maybe? The Sentinel texture paint where it dries and cracks like that to look kind of like a dusty or desert planet. We have the Emperor, whose miniature, sadly, I was disappointed in because it's massively out of proportion. Like, if you stretched his arm to his side, his arm would be down below his knee, which makes no sense. So I was a bit disappointed with that, but the Emperor in general is fun. And then, Mr. Darth Vader himself. This is Operative Darth Vader, which is not from the starter set. The one in the starter set is a different pose. So I used a mixture of reds for him, including mixing in Blood Angel's contrast while the black was still wet, and then edge highlighting with, Wild Rider red I think it's called, to create that kind of metallic shine on his big dome. I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. This was the first miniature I painted from Star Wars Legion. And I think the glow effect works better on him than it does on Luke. Maybe it's just because the red looks better, I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy with how that came out. I did a couple of applications to the cloak because it's very like jet black without much reflection. So yeah, I'm happy with how that one turned out. So finally, this time, we have 4 players from the NECromantic team, 2 Wraiths I think they're called, the Spooky Ghost Sheets, 1 Lineman, and just hot off the press, 1 Werewolf. So these guys, the miniatures for this team are so fun. We have a Spooky Sheet. He can't pick up the ball because he's incorporeal, but he is a sheet. I used Apothecary White, and then I did a wash with non-oil, and then while it was wet, I mixed in Aggressor Shade to create kind of like the muddy baseline. Snakebite Leather for the rope, and there's some Black Templar in there, and Griffin Orange, and you'll see these colours used on all the other miniatures as well. These ghosts don't have it, but the other 2 do have some edge highlighting with Moot Green, which is again just trying to copy the official colour scheme for them. So this Wraith, is that in focus? It's not quite, there we go. This Wraith, exactly the same as the previous. I love these ones especially, that's why I started with these, it's just so fun. This one's kind of just got a grabby hand, the other one's got a spike. But yeah, they can't hold the ball, but they can harass. And this is my favourite lineman in the whole box, because he's got a pumpkin head with like a witch's hat. Again, trying to match the colour scheme that's official, using the colours I just said. A little bit of Draken Shade wash over Greyseer for the zombie skin tone. But yeah, I love that miniature. It is my favourite of the bunch, this one, so that's why I wanted to do it real quick. And that's just black applied over the Griffin Orange for the shirt. And then finally, we have, hopefully in focus, almost, Werewolf, using Wildwood for his skin, silver, and then all the other colours I said. These are your fast guys in the NECromantic team. They grab the ball and they run, sometimes off the pitch because it's their ball and you can't have it. There is actually a tactics card to that effect, or a play card to that effect. So he's one of the 2 werewolves you get, and that is 4 of 14 miniatures from that done. Won't be able to record another one until that's done fully, sadly. Well, unless I do the same 2 teams again, but I'd rather do the NECromantic team. So we'll see what we're going to get. Definitely going to work on more of that team for next time. Some more Star Wars Legion. I'm not sure what else, now that scenery is done. We do have some January releases to look forward to, but I'd like to keep it generally a surprise. So, there will be more Monster Apocalypse as well. That needs some more painted for it as well. So by all means, show me what you've been painting on Twitter at GamerIanD if you want to show me. I don't mind if it's a game I play or not. I just like seeing other miniatures being painted. And yeah, I think that about covers everything. So depending on when you see this, Happy New Year. And I'll see you again in roughly 2 weeks for another painting update. Thanks for watching this one. Ta-ta for now.